Welcome to my simple outside TRX training session. I'm going to show you a series of exercises you can do to pretty much train the whole body. This video clip is for you if you've just newly bought a TRX cable or you're looking to purchase one and you want a little bit of guidance and inspiration. So I chose not to use the audio outside so you can see me speaking here. It was a little bit too windy. For the purpose of this workout, we're just doing a few minutes to mobilize your lower spine, engage your core, get your abs fired up so that you look after your posture and don't put any unnecessary pressure on your lower back. What we're going to do, we're going to bend our legs, we're going to keep our feet flat on the ground, hip width apart, and then you're going to put your arms down by your side, lengthen your arms, so sending your shoulders away from your ears. Relax the neck, take a breath in, and as you breathe out, slowly roll your hips towards you and then rolling your spine, lumbar spine up off the ground. You're going to raise your hips up to the sky. Then you're going to take a breath in, and as you breathe out, you're going to layer your back down onto the ground in reverse this time. So starting with the mid back, going down into the lumbar spine, and then finally the hips relax. So that is take a breath in, take a breath out, curl your hips towards you, round your back off the ground, take a breath in, and as you breathe out, lay your back down again. Then we're going to do a lumbar spine rotation, and this again is to ease up any tension, to put some mobility back into your lower back. So I want you to take a breath in, and as you breathe out, you're going to rotate your cross leg to one side and you're going to slowly look to the other. So you want to time the head turning and the hips turning at the same time. So you're putting a rotation down the entire length of the spine. Try not to do it independently. So moving on to the ab curl. Notice I didn't call it a crunch or a sit up because what you're actually doing is just curling the upper body. I want you to focus on, or imagine that you have a tennis size ball between your chin and your chest. You're going to maintain that gap throughout this whole exercise. You're going to put your fingers at the side of your temples, not behind your head, because if they're behind the head, the tendency is to then pull on the head and further accentuate that curve of the neck, which you would have been doing if you've been looking at screens and devices. You're then going to focus on your sternum coming up towards the sky. So you take a breath in, and as you breathe out, you slowly curl the upper body up. You pause at the top and then breathe in and come back down. You are focusing, of course, primarily on the abs here. If you get any tension in the lower back, then you've probably come too high. So reduce the range of motion, don't come up so high, and just get that feeling of the abs working first. And if you've successfully done that, let's move on to make it a little bit more challenging by bringing the legs up off the ground so the legs are at a 90-degree position. Then you're going to take a breath in as normal, breathe out as you come up and hold. Now you're going to take a breath in, and as you breathe out, you're going to send one leg out in front. Breathe in as the leg comes back, breathe out as you extend the other leg. You're going to do 4 to 6 of those leg extensions before you bring the legs back in, breathe in and roll back down again. That's one repetition. You want to aim between 4 and 6 of those holds and leg extensions. We're starting with the squat and row. So you're going to come down to the ground, try not to bounce, and then come up and slowly come towards lockout, but not full lockout. We call this a soft lock. And then you're going to row, putting the hands into the side of the chest, but don't flare the elbows too high. Just keep them around 45 degrees down to your side, if not a little less. You'll notice that when I pull in, I've got a nice straight line down my back and a straight line across my back. So there's no rounded shoulders. I've actually pulled my shoulder blades together to activate those muscles between the shoulder blades called the rhomboids. They're really important to train to help you keep a nice, straight, upright posture. And then we're going to move on to the chest press. Just like a press up, hands are coming to the side. Again, similar position to the row that you just saw, about 45 degrees out to the side. You don't want to go too high because then It goes very much on the shoulders, and for some people it can actually cause a bit of discomfort in the shoulder. So I wouldn't recommend bringing your arm straight out to the side. You're pushing out, you're pausing, taking a breath in as you come back down to reset for the next rep. Then we're going to go into an isolation exercise here, which is the rear fly. It's kind of like a crucifix position, arms out to the side, because what you're doing is you're actually targeting the muscles in the back of the shoulder, the posterior delts, which quite often in many people's exercise routine gets neglected. Most people train the front and the side and they forget the back of the shoulders, which will add to forming that rounded posture. Now we're going to come down to the laying on our back position, where we're going to work the hamstrings and glutes. So this is nice because you get to work the hamstrings and the glutes back to back, saving time. You can pull the little tags on the TRX cable to shorten those straps, and you want the loops to be about 3 to 4 inches off the ground so you have some clearance for movement. You're going to put your fingers in the loops, pull the loops towards you, put your legs over the top and replace your fingers with your heels while pushing down so the straps hook on your ankles. Extend the legs out and then hold. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, pull the legs back in towards you. Breathe in as you push out, and breathe out as the legs come out to the side into that glute contraction, and then breathe in, come back. Now we've got the bicep curl. So with this exercise, you want to keep your upper arms level with the line of the TRX cable. The elbows are kept constantly at that level. You breathe out and you bend your arms. So you're pulling your palms towards the side of your temple. And then slowly extend. Make sure it's slowly because you don't want to snap into that straight arm position so as not to cause pressure on the elbows. You notice the nice straight line down my back and that constant level or position of my elbows. And then with the tricep extensions, the arm position is very similar. It's in that straight line with the TRX cable. The elbows are out to the side, but not too wide as to be too flared. If you have the flexibility in your shoulders, then you want to keep your elbows roughly shoulder width apart and the arms in line with your shoulders. Now you have a choice with this workout. You can either do the exercises in the sequence I've shown you and then go through circuits, which would mean that you wouldn't rest, you'd go from one exercise to the other. So it may mean you need to rewind this video clip to that point and keep going through those circuits. Or what you can do is do the exercises and then rest and then do another set. That of course takes a lot longer, so depending on your experience level and how much time you got, and of course how intense you want the workout to be, because if you're going from exercise to exercise in that circuit fashion, it's going to be a lot harder in terms of like getting your heart and lungs working. I mean, of course it's not a cardio workout. It will put some demand on your heart and lungs. If you've got a little bit more time and you're more of a beginner, then you want to do each set with a bit of rest so that you can concentrate more on form and where you feel the exercise. So just to recap, you've got two ways of approaching this workout. You either do it in a circuit, that is one exercise after the other, and then do 2 to 3 circuits of all the exercises back to back, or you do each exercise 3 times before you move on to the next exercise, which of course equates to the same amount of reps or sets, but it's going to take longer because you've got those rest in between the exercises. I say that this is a whole body workout, but of course there are certain muscles that are not going to be isolated, but you are working hamstrings, quads, your glutes, your core, your abs, your chest, your upper back, your biceps and your triceps. Please like this video and hit the subscribe button. And if you click the little bell notification, you'll get a notification of all my future videos. I hope that I provided some value, maybe some inspiration and guidance to what you can include in your future TRX sessions. If you haven't already got your own TRX, I've put a Amazon link down below. Of course, that gives me a reward for producing this for you, so I do appreciate that. Feel free to leave a comment below. It really is great reading your comments and getting any feedback about this video or maybe videos that you might want to see in the future. Keep well, keep energized. Thanks again.